NBA season awards are arguably the most important awards out of all sports, especially the MVP. With the season just about halfway done, here are my predictions for the season's award winners. For this season, there are many players that are in the contention for MVP, but only a few of those players really stand out. One of those players that stands out is Golden State Warriors forward Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is leading a team that has Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Specifically, he's leading them in points per game and rebounds per game. One of the only major reasons that Kevin Durant is in the MVP talk is because he's on a first-place team in the Western Conference. Honestly, I don't think he will win MVP because he just isn't putting up MVP numbers. Two players that are in the same situation as Kevin Durant are LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. One of the only major reasons that they're in the MVP talk is because they're leading a first-place and second-place team. But they probably aren't going to be MVP just because, like Kevin Durant, they aren't putting up MVP numbers. Here are 4 MVP candidates that might actually have a chance at winning the award. The first player is Isaiah Thomas. He's leading the team and is tied with DeMar DeRozan, who we will talk about later, in Eastern Conference points per game with 28.2 points. And he is leading the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. And he has had some crazy scoring games and many clutch moments. But one of the best reasons why he should be league MVP is that he's doing all of these things while standing at only 5'9". Yes, he is scoring 28 points per game in a league where the average player is 5 inches taller than him, which I think is truly amazing. The second player is DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has been putting up great numbers this season and has really improved since last year. He came out of the gates putting up outstanding numbers and led the league in scoring for a bit. He is leading the Toronto Raptors along with Kyle Lowry and some other good players. With his great scoring ability and him leading his team to second place in the Eastern Conference, these are just a few reasons that he should be MVP. The final 2 players that I think are the top 2 players in the league are James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has been putting up great numbers this season and is currently averaging a triple-double, something that has not been done since Oscar Robertson did it in 1962. This season he has racked up 20 triple-doubles so far and will most likely have many more. With the loss of Kevin Durant on the Thunder, he has led a decent team to a 25-17 record. The Thunder are currently ranked at 6th in the Western Conference and are still definitely a playoff team. Although they are not likely to be a contender, it is still very impressive that he has been able to lead his team to this good of a record. He is also the leading scorer in the NBA. Although he's done all of these great things, one of the main reasons he may not win MVP is because his team will most likely not be able to be a top 3 team. And it is very rare to find a player that isn't in a top 3 team that wins MVP. Finally, my last prediction for MVP is James Harden. He is probably the most likely to win MVP because he's almost averaging a triple-double with 28.4 points, 11.7 assists, and 8.2 rebounds per game. His team is currently better than the Thunder at the 3rd seed in the Western Conference at a 32-11 record. James Harden has had many amazing performances this season, one of those being a 50-point, 15 rebound, and 15 assist game. He has also led the Rockets, a former 8th seed, to be a possible title contender this season. Since his team has been way more successful than the Thunder this year, he is more likely to win MVP than Russell Westbrook. Now on to Defensive Player of the Year. For Defensive Player of the Year, there aren't obviously going to be as many candidates as there were for MVP, but there are still a few. One of those players is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has been Defensive Player of the Year for the past 2 years and likely looking for a 3rd one. He is still a pretty good defensive player, as well as a good all-around player, but he probably won't win the award this year just due to not being as good as defense as he has been in the past. Another player that could win Defensive Player of the Year is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis averages the most blocks per game in the NBA with 2.5 blocks. With his amazing ability to score and protect the basket, he is a pretty good choice for Defensive Player of the Year. Although many people wouldn't agree with my top candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, it's Draymond Green. This season, Draymond already has 4 defensive game-winning plays for the Warriors, which is pretty good. Draymond also has the ability to guard 7-foot centers, although he's only 6'7", which makes him able to guard players from LeBron James to players like DeAndre Jordan. The only thing holding Draymond back from this award is foul trouble. Last year, Draymond got the second most technical fouls in the NBA, which many people think is bad. Including that, Draymond also averages about 3 fouls a game. And in the 2015-2016 NBA Finals, Draymond got suspended, which some people say cost the Warriors the finals. And if Draymond gets into foul trouble during an important game, that could really cost the Warriors. But my overall pick for Defensive Player of the Year is still Draymond Green. There will be a part 2 video for explaining all the other awards that will come out later this week. Also next week, my NBA playoff predictions video will be posted. If you have any suggestions for these 2 awards, comment them down below. Also, if you have any suggestions for future videos, comment those down below too. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I learned the game from William